Welcome to Write, Publish, and Market Your Book 1, Additional Supplies and Resources. Additional Supplies. Here are a list of items you can purchase that are helpful when it comes to writing. Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi are a pair that write instructive novels for writers. They have an amazing thesaurus series that is filled to the brim with profound information. You can find their amazing series by clicking the link here, or you can search them up in Amazon. I highly encourage you check out the series and see which pieces of it will aid you the most. They're available in both physical and Kindle format. A voice recorder. For when inspiration strikes, you can record your thoughts verbally. This comes in handy quite often. A notepad and pen handy when going about your day. Much like having a voice recorder, being able to record your thoughts at any moment is vital to success. If you don't write it, you won't remember it. Even if you're in bed and an amazing idea comes across as you're about to fall asleep, pull out your phone and type it in a notepad or even text yourself. And now for additional resources. This is the section containing all additional resources that can be beneficial to your writing. As I update the PowerPoint, more resources will pop up here. Audible. Create an audiobook. Remember, you might need to shorten it. Go to your Amazon Author Central account. Under Learn More, there's a link to the Audiobook Creation Exchange, which has vital information you will need in creating an audiobook version of your book. You might also need to hire a production booth and assistant, or you can record your book on freeconferencecall.com as an MP3 file. Practice by reading your chapters to yourself on your computer webcam. Upload them to YouTube. This also helps you get promotion. Try using FaceRig if you have young or fanciful characters which turn your webcam self into animals or anime-like people. Chatfuel is a messenger-style platform on which you can list your books and communicate with your readers. Twitch is a live streaming service which you can choose to make announcements or chat live with your readers, among many other things. Discord is an online voice and text instant communication service, somewhat like an online chat room. You can also create podcasts about your books or characters and even your writing experiences and post them to YouTube. Patreon is a website for gathering patrons who pay by the month to be connected to your writing and other creative experiences. Look into tags and other services such as SEO search engine optimization, which uses frequently searched words to bring your website or book to the attention of others. Follow editors on Twitter, especially those in your genre. You can check out the Kindle marketing and promotion tabs, which helps you on the Amazon Kindle website. You can take your book and use Kindle Create to turn your book into a nice, neat, e-format novel. Get a professional cover made. Don't forget Vistaprint for add-on items like t-shirts, pens, mugs, and of course your business cards. Don't forget to sign up as a speaker for online services like the Oklahoma Speakers Bureau. If you live elsewhere, try researching into companies of your area. Additionally, if you can't spend the money for a production booth, there are great tutorials for getting into making audible versions of your books. There are many great YouTube creators out there. As I come across specific ones that stand out, I'll reference them here, but don't hesitate to find a YouTuber on your own. It is also good to note that if you upload to Audible on Amazon, you will be uploading each chapter as a single audio file. This helps you work on such a task in the same mentality as the a page a day saying. Try recording what you can and then polish it up as you go. And now we will return to the resource page. Amazon KDP Essentials. This will cover other aspects of Amazon KDP. First off, if you already have an Amazon account, you can use the same account on Amazon KDP if you'd like. If you're wanting a specific name or brand for your publishing, then you can use a different email address. We're going to take a brief moment away from the PowerPoint so I can show you how to navigate the Amazon KDP website. Once you have your account created, you can sign in at Amazon KDP. After signing in, you'll be brought to this screen. This is more or less your digital bookshelf, and all your books will appear below. For this example, we'll be going through the steps of what you'll do when you have your manuscript, your cover, and etc., and are ready to self-publish your first book. You'll start the process by clicking the Create button. This is where you'll choose the format of your book. For this example, we'll be doing paperback. In the paperback detail section, you'll be allowed to input all the information for your novel. Language. Choose the language of your book. Book title. Enter your title and subtitle. Please note that this section will include the semicolons for you. For example, if your book was titled Astrology, A Libra's Guide to Constellations, then you'd write it like so. Series. You'll be able to add details for if your novel is an ongoing series in this section. Edition number. The edition number is used to define the version of your novel. You'll leave this blank if it's the first time you're releasing something. If you ever alter your manuscript and want to update your live novel, you change the edition number here. This allows readers to know what version they get, and it makes previous copies more special. Author. Here is where you'll list your name. Contributors. This is where you'll add any other contributors of the book. For example, if you co-wrote a novel, you would list them here. Description. The pitch that resides on the back of your book will go in this section. Publishing rights. Since you wrote the novel yourself, you own the copyright and the publishing rights. Primary audience. This is where you'll specify whether or not your book contains sexually explicit content or other explicit scenarios. If your book does contain said things, then you'll need to checkmark the yes box. You can also set the reading age for your novel. Since this is a book about farts, we should have a broad range of readers. Primary marketplace. You will choose the location you expect the majority of your book sales. Generally, you'll want to choose the marketplace for your location. Categories. You get to choose up to 3 categories that describe your book. These categories are how readers will search and find your novel. These categories also dictate how your book is ranked. Choosing to create content in a genre that isn't overly saturated might be a good side project. You will also be prompted to classify whether or not your book is low content or a large print book. Low content books are considered journals, notebooks, planners, etc. Large print books are considered 16-point font size or greater. Keywords. This is where you'll get to choose up to 7 keywords that describe your book. Use words that best describe your novel or project so people can find it more easily. Once you have finished inputting all of your information, you can click the Save and Continue button at the bottom of your screen. If you need to step away and save your progress, you can always click the Save as Draft button as needed. Print ISBN. This is where you'll input your ISBN number so that it can be assigned to your novel. This will allow stores to scan your book. If you're making a novel for your friends and family and aren't distributing it for money, you can have Amazon generate you a free ISBN. If you ever change your mind and want to re-release your novel for a different purpose, you can unrelease previous books and do as you wish. Please note that if you unrelease a novel that is linked with a purchased ISBN, you will need to purchase a new number. ISBNs can only be used for one title ever. Publication date. You can set the release date of your novel. Do this if you want to generate excitement and have time to advertise your book's release. If you wish for your novel to release as you submit it, leave this section blank. Print options. In print options, you'll be able to choose the paper and color type you'd like. If you're doing a colorful children's book full of illustrations, you will be choosing one of the colored options. You can choose the options to get a view of how they'll be. Trim size. This is where you'll be choosing the trim size of your novel. Generally, the 6x9 format is rather popular, but you can select from a multitude of options. Consider this when formatting your manuscript and/or illustrations into your book. Bleed settings. Setting your interior to bleed allows printing at or off the edge of the page. This is generally used to support images and other illustrations. Most books use no bleed unless there is a specific reason to apply the bleed to your novel. Paperback cover finish. You can choose whether you want a matte or glossy finish on the cover of your book. Manuscript. You will upload your manuscript by clicking the yellow button. You can upload your document directly, but it's highly recommended to format your novel, then save it as a PDF file, which you can do in Microsoft Word by clicking the Save As button, then choosing the file type you'd like to save it as. Once your file is ready, you can upload your manuscript and the system will begin processing it. Book cover. While your manuscript is processing, you can also upload your book cover. Your book cover is a vital part of drawing in a passerby, so this part is crucial. You can create a cover using the cover creator or upload your own. If you are wanting your own cover created, you can click the Learn More About Book Covers sentence covered in blue. It'll lead you to the cover calculator. With the calculator, you can input your trim size and page number, and it will give you the exact measurements and calculations to give to your artist, should you hire someone to create a cover for you. The file you upload for your cover will also need to be a PDF file. For this example, we'll be using the cover creator since it's a book about farts. We only need something simple. The cover creator has a built-in tutorial and its functionality is rather simple. You can upload your own images or even use stock photos. The choice is yours. Book preview. Once you have your manuscript and cover processed and verified, you can then launch the previewer. This will allow you to view your final product in multiple ways. In the previewer, you can view your novel and make sure everything is correct. After you go through and have ensured that your book has turned out the way you intended, you can then approve it. Summary. Once you have approved your book, its printing costs will become available, along with other information pertaining to the publishing of your book. This will show you the price you'll pay if you order author copies of your novel. It will also show you the cost to print in other marketplaces. And now we can click the Save and Continue button to wrap up the final parts. Territories. In this section, you can select between all territories or individual territories rights for your novel. Amazon does contain an information hub pertaining to this topic, but generally, you'll be doing all territories worldwide rights. Primary marketplace. The pricing you'll be receiving for your novel will be based on the marketplace you had chosen. If you do end up changing marketplaces, you'll need to reconfirm your price in this section. You can always return to your book on the Amazon KDP bookshelf and edit it as needed. Some things are permanent, but a lot can still be changed. Pricing, royalty, and distribution. This is where you'll list the price you want to sell your book. With this chart, it'll show you the price of your novel across the globe. It's a very useful tool when trying to decide a formidable price for your hard work. Once you have a price set, it'll adjust the chart for you. You'll see the printing cost, rate, and royalty all calculated in conjunction so you can see your final result. In the corner of the chart is a section called Expanded Distribution. When mousing over the title, it states that large book distributors can make your title available to other online retailers, libraries, universities, and booksellers beyond Amazon. Enrollment is subject to eligibility requirements. This might sound enticing, having your book available in a broader sense, but what it truly allows to happen is that other companies can buy your book at the print cost price you pay and distribute your book at whatever price they see fit. They can either undersell your official listing on Amazon or possibly overcharge an innocent reader who's just trying to find a new read. Any copies these companies sell, you don't get a royalty for. So it's extremely recommended to never, ever do expanded distribution. Even if you don't choose expanded distribution, there are still companies that could possibly buy copies of your book for its full value on Amazon and try to redistribute it at a much higher price. A company called Glassfrog Books is prone to practicing these methods. Big companies like this will shotgun their money into countless novels, buying them up, and then redistribute them at a higher price for a big profit. These are just a few things you'll have to look out for as you self-publish. Another thing to note is that when self-publishing is that you could possibly start getting emails and calls from certain retailers or publishing companies. These companies will have contracts with Amazon to have access to small authors and their sales. They'll use your sales and or lack of popularity to entice you into buying advertising packages, movie deals, editing services, and much more. The pricing for many of these things are absurd since they are a huge and grand service. They will also try to have their emails headed with things like, "I loved your novel," and so on. It's also good to note that the demographic that has time to write novels tend to be older folks or the elderly. So always remember that scammers could be targeting you because of your age. Terms and conditions. It could take up to 72 hours for your book to be available on Amazon. From my personal experiences and that of others, your book could be available within a few hours, or you might have to wait the full 3 days. So don't worry too much when waiting for your book to be processed. Request a proof. You can easily request proofs, wait for them, and then make adjustments as needed. If you feel confident with what you saw in the preview launcher, and or you've already gotten a proof of your book, then you can click the Publish or Paperback Book button and it will begin to finalize, thus starting the up to 72-hour process. You will then be returned to the Bookshelf tab and should be able to see your novel on it. It should have the word processing under the word paperback across from the price listing. Once it's processed, it should have the word live in green letters. After the release of your book, you'll be able to look at your sales on the Report tab located at the top of the KDP menu. This system gives you amazing information pertaining to your sales, like where it's being sold, and much more. Another thing to note is that once your first book is available, you can go to author.amazon.com and set up your Author Central page. This is an author page that contains your information on the Amazon platform. It'll allow readers to follow you for future releases, keep up with your blog, and much more. If you have a blog on your own author page, it's really simple to connect it to the Author Central page. I hope this helps, and of course, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And now we will return to the PowerPoint. Additionally, one of the best perks about self-publishing physical books, ebooks, and audiobooks is that you can update them freely. So if you ever come across certain errors or something else is wrong, you can always go back and change the contents of your publishings. And we will return to the resource page. Copyright. Additional copyright info. This section contains 3 documents with copyright information. Due to issues with my software, I can only share one of the documents. These documents are also available in your curriculum folder. In the future, when YouTube allows me to share links, I'll have all documents in the curriculum more accessible to viewers that are not part of the physical class. If you access this file from your curriculum folder, you can copy and paste it into your manuscript. This will go one page after your title and header. You can also customize your copyright information to match the theme of your novel. Are you writing a horror story? Then put something spooky to go along into the copyright. Your ISBN number will go into the ISBN header at the bottom of your copyright. The cover design header is where you'll put the artist's name for who did all your illustrations and or cover art. If there are multiple artists, you can simply list them in order. If you do not have access to the curriculum folder, you can always pause the video and type out what you see. The isolated sentence test. The isolated sentence test is a document that'll prove very useful in your writings. Be sure to use this exercise. You can access the document by clicking the link here. We will also be viewing the document for the video. The Isolated Sentence Test by Don Field, May 16, 2018. In a book you love, turn to a random page and read a single isolated sentence. Can you hear the author's voice? Does it evoke an emotion? Does it draw you in? Now open your own work. How does it fare? There are so many things that can go into writing an enjoyable book. Chief among them is the ability to make stellar word choices and form beautiful sentences. Much has been written about sentences. Lists of favorite sentences abound, including the longest and shortest, with opening and closing lines getting special attention. But in a great book, Every sentence carries its own weight. Each is a stepping stone on a wondrous path. The overarching factor that contributes to a good sentence is the writer's voice. Great writing flows from voice. A strong voice means every word is well considered. Logic flows. You'll find no unnecessary extras, and the content is interesting. While it's hard to achieve, it's easy to recognize when a book isn't there yet. The isolated sentence test. Try this on a book you really like, open to a random page, and read one sentence. Chances are it will stand well by itself. It certainly should. You might not know all the details it describes, but you won't be confused by it. It won't be broken or have unclear antecedents. You will be able to make good sense of it grammatically. It won't be fragmented. It won't be rambling or tangential. It won't look like a piece of fluff clinging to a new suit that someone neglected to pluck off. It will be the fabric of the suit, and if really special, perhaps an ornate button. A quality sentence will describe concrete detail and actions. It will be relevant. You'll immediately get your bearings and be able to proceed into the story. It will put an image in your mind or evoke an emotion. It will impart an essential fact or reveal more of the plot. At its best, it will make you stop and think or read it again and again to enjoy its beauty. In a well-written book, you might get a feel for what the entire book is about from a single sentence. Sentence testing is often the way we browse books in a bookstore, looking for something that draws us in. We know very quickly if we like the style and the tone of the author. Open the book again and repeat. Every sentence should sing. What you're really doing is testing for the writer's voice. It is set at the opening line and continues to the end. It works to make all sentences feel like they belong. Finding your voice will substantially improve all of your sentences and how they flow. You are also testing for polish. Do it as many times as you need to prove how strong all the sentences in a well-crafted, fully imagined book can be. Now pick up your draft. How does it fare? Does it pass the isolated sentence test? If yes, amazing. If not, you might have some things you need to fix. Learning to write great sentences requires a range of skills. Are your selected sentences limp, plain, or lacking interesting words or thoughts? Do you have to skim other sentences to glean meaning? Test a range of books, including your own. Test early drafts and the works in progress of others. This comparative effort can be a great way to intuitively gain an understanding of good sentence structure and form. When a sentence hits you right, consider its features. When it hits you wrong, look even more closely. This reading habit, done enough, will give you the comparative basics to craft better and better sentences. In the end, each sentence should be a masterpiece on its own. 8 tips on creating vivid, memorable characters. This is a useful document by Marge McAllister used as a handout in the program. You can download the document by clicking here. This document is also in your curriculum folder. Unfortunately, this is also another document that has been giving me troubles when trying to access it. In the future, I will be sure to share the contents of the document to help you on your writings. And that concludes the additional supplies and resources of the curriculum. As this marks the end of the course, I wanted to take a moment to thank you for watching these videos. As time goes on, I'll return to this course and update it as needed. I'd also like to mention that over time, I hope to update and streamline the series. It was disappointing that certain files weren't accessible while recording my screen, but as always, the curriculum will be available for download if for some reason you misplaced the folder, and so you can always return to the information provided as you see fit. None of this would have been possible if it wasn't for Andrea, creator of Creative Quills, my fellow writers from the aforementioned group, and my personal experiences and trials. The downloadable file will always be available, no matter what. in case you lose it along the way, or you might wish to share it with others. I'm hoping by organizing all the information and presenting it in this manner helps you learn and grow as a writer. I created this PowerPoint a year or so ago and recently decided to put it into video format. All of this took quite some time, so if you or someone you know is curious about writing, be sure to share it with them. And if this series earned it, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. See you in the next video.